Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Moving Right Along, a Muppet movie podcast brought to you by toughpigs.com. This is the podcast where we watch Muppet Treasure Island 2 minutes at a time and talk about it a lot. I'm your host, Ryan Rowe.
I'm your other host, Anthony Strand.
And hey, here on the good ship Moving Right Along today, we have a return guest. Tell everyone who you are.
Hi, I'm Becca Petunia from toughpigs.com.
Hooray!
Yeah.
Host of the Hubba podcast.
That's true. A podcast which I have said is on indefinite hiatus, but I'm still the host of it.
You are. You will always be the host of it. Unless you hand the reins over to somebody else, but I can't imagine that happening.
No, that's not happening. No, it's just gonna sit in limbo.
You heard it here first, folks. It's in limbo. And today,
like floating face.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's gonna be the next episode when you come back. It's gonna be
all about floating
all the questions
face.
will be about the floating face puppet that Jim Henson made for the limbo bit. Yes. Well, today we're not in limbo. We're here on the podcast to talk about minutes 33 and 34 of Muppet Treasure Island, in which Sailing for Adventure concludes and the roll call begins.
Can I just... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go for it.
I was just saying, can I just say something quickly before we begin?
Yes.
All right. Well, JD, friend of the podcast, Tough Pigs writer, JD Hansel. JD said that more people should rap.
Yes, he actually said it's now required of every guest.
And so I'll follow his orders like a treasure map. Yeah, Becca Petunia out here on the mic, talking about a Muppet movie I don't like. This movie's not funny, and it's kind of too mean. The humans annoy me when they're on screen. Rizzo likes food, and Gonzo likes danger, but their purpose in this movie couldn't be stranger. I know JD likes this movie a lot, and I'd trust his opinions in any other spot. But maybe, just maybe, this movie is dull, especially compared to Christmas Carol. The staging is boring and unengaging. The Muppets' jokes are kind of enraging. The sets are cramped. I wish they were spacious. And oh yeah, this movie is also racist. So I guess I'm glad to be on MRA. The only use of that acronym I find okay.
So as long as you brought it up, that's why I never refer to this podcast by the acronym. I never do.
And when other people do, I will say the full name of the pod. I will say Moving Right Along, a Muppet movie podcast before I will just use those 3 letters.
On Hubba, I almost always referred to it as Moving Right Along, a Muppet movie podcast brought to you by toughpigs.com.
Yeah, good. Perfect. Thank you. I mean, look, it's not our fault. It's Paul Williams and Kenny Asher. They named that song.
Anyway,
that was great. Let's get back to what's important. Becca, that was great.
Thank you.
Yes. Wow.
I didn't do a great job rapping. I'm believe it or not, rapping is not one of my skills. And
that
could have fooled me.
The way you say it presupposes that it is one of mine, which it is decidedly not.
Yeah. So the bar is raised once again for all future guests. You gotta up your game. Okay, so
I was particularly proud of the slant rhyme of spacious and racist.
I was actually just thinking that.
There were a few soft rhymes in there, I noticed, but I mean...
Dole and movie is Dole, Christmas Carol was another one that I think, yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Some of those might not fly with like very strict musical theater composers, but I think when you're writing a Muppet Treasure Island rap, it's okay.
Yeah, maybe I put more effort into this than the... No, actually, you know what? Let me be nice. I, as I said in my rap, don't like this movie. And we'll get to that, I'm sure. And I'm going to have a lot of complaints, but there also are some things that I like about this movie. And I promise to talk about those things too.
That's very fair of you. Yes, thank you. So we begin these minutes with the figurehead Statler and Waldorf finishing their line from last week. Should have took a train. Of course, this is grammatically incorrect. They should have said, should have taken a train, but they're willing to sacrifice proper grammar for the sake of fitting the line to the meter of the song. Much like Becca was just willing to sacrifice strict rhymes for the meter of the rap.
For the purpose of jokes.
Yes, exactly. I don't know. I mean, should have hopped a train. That would have fit. Should have. I don't know if there's another one syllable word that would have fit in here.
Yeah.
Maybe our listeners want to make a suggestion.
Caught a train.
Should have caught a train. Yeah, that would have worked perfectly.
Should have caught the train.
Yep, that would have worked. But that's not what they say. And then some other members of the crew continue the song with Sailing for Adventure on the Bounding Main, which brings us to Jim Hawkins, who sings, "The salty breeze is a whisper, who knows who lies ahead? I just know I was born to lead the life my father led." And we previously have heard how Kevin Bishop could not re-record the song Something Better because his voice changed due to puberty and he could no longer hit the high notes. This, when you listen to these lines, like, he just keeps going higher and higher. So
Listen, I don't want to say anything bad about Kevin Bishop. I think, and I've honestly gained a new appreciation for him through listening to this podcast, because you guys point out some really great acting things that he does. And certainly acting with the Muppets is not easy for anyone, especially not, a child actor, and basically one of, if not his first performance.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like his singing voice. In the sense that I don't want to listen to his singing.
Sure. No, I get that. Yeah.
It is functional. Like, it's not like he's missing the notes, but like, I didn't even realize that's what he was singing because.
Oh, you couldn't make out the words. And so how do you feel about Something Better, his earlier song?
Something Better is basically unlistenable to me. I don't listen to this soundtrack much. Certainly when I do, I skip Something Better almost every time.
You do not consider it to be something better?
No, I think it's something
than any of the other songs.
I think it's something the worst song in the movie.
Okay. Anthony, you were going to say something?
Well, I probably agree with that it's the worst song. Something Better is the worst song. But no, I don't know. I wasn't going to say anything. Becca said I don't listen to this soundtrack very much, and I mouthed, "Why would you?"
No. I mean, I listened to it all the time when this movie was new.
I mean, I had it on CD, and I would roll it up in my CD Walkman, my Discman, as we called them.
Discman.
Yeah. I'm just much less likely to be listening to a movie soundtrack these days, for whatever reason.
Yeah. Back in those days, I was firing up Batman Forever, my favorite movie soundtrack.
Oh yeah, everybody.
Which was that was "Kiss from a Rose."
"Kiss from a Rose," and that U2 song was on there.
Ooh,
"Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me."
Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me. Yep.
Was that the one that had the REM song, or was that Batman and Robin?
I don't know about an REM song. There's the Flaming Lips song is in Batman Forever.
Maybe that's what I'm confusing. Maybe there was no REM song.
Is it called "In Your Dreams" or something like that?
Those soundtracks were pretty good.
Yeah.
They were. It had that like some random Offspring song on there.
Imagine if U2 wrote these songs.
If U2, well, I mean, the funny thing about these songs is Barry Mann and Cynthia Weil were pop rock song composers. Basically, they wrote all these pop songs that were big hits in the 60s.
For the record, Flaming Lips song. Flaming Lips do have a song on Batman Forever entitled "Bad Days," but REM, "Revolution" by REM is on the Batman and Robin soundtrack.
Okay, that is what I was thinking. Yeah. Your revolution is it's like, your revolution is a something idea, man. Yeah, okay, I got this.
You know what? Right. You know what REM song should be on the Batman soundtrack?
I Am Superman?
Night Swimming, because that dude does everything at night.
And spell it with a K.
Ooh.
Yeah, night swimming with a K, yeah.
I do want to say, though, I'm sure you guys have spoken a lot about this song last week. I don't dislike this song, and I don't dislike this number. I also don't dislike Cabin Fever, and I know that's one way that Anthony and I are different. Yes. Another, there's other ways, but that's one way we're different.
That's one of them.
I think that this is fun, and it kind of feels very much like a Muppet Show number to me. In the sense, In the sense, especially that it's like, okay, these are just these puppets that we don't know and we'll never see again singing a song on a set.
Yeah, this could be an opening number of the Muppet Show with just a bunch of random creatures in it.
Yeah, saying that it feels like a Muppet Show number is not necessarily saying that it feels flawless, and certainly it isn't. But I don't like Jim Hawkins' voice, and that's the part of the song that we're at.
Yeah, well, but not for long, because the next thing that happens is Long John responds by singing some lyrics of his own. I didn't write these down. Any specific thoughts on the lyrics that he sings? He sounds good.
I have some specific thoughts about Tim Curry.
Yeah?
Not the lyrics, but last week when I mistakenly forgot to write down that he didn't sing, we talked about how this was his first movie musical since Annie 14 years earlier. But indeed it is his first live action movie musical since Annie. He was also in Fern Gully and Don Bluth's The Pebble and the Penguin, and he sings in both of those.
Boy. Does he? Oh, he does sing in Fern Gully?
Yeah, he has like a little villain
pollution's
yeah.
Acid rain pouring down. Yeah.
Wow, okay.
But I also
it's a number.
But I also looked it up, and in between Annie and this, on stage, he was in Three Penny Opera at the National Theatre of Great Britain, the North American tour of Me and My Girl revival.
Okay.
He's in The Wall live in Berlin, the Pink Floyd show. And he was in the original Broadway cast of My Favorite Year, the musical. He plays the role that Peter O'Toole played in the movie.
Wow, okay.
So that was 1992. So he did 4 stage musicals and 2 animated films that he sang in between. So it's not like he wasn't singing.
When did The Worst Witch come out?
Earlier.
That's not before Annie though. Isn't that like 80? 80
I was going to say
something.
After
that's
Annie,
after Annie, and he sings in The Worst Witch.
Does he sing in that?
Let's see.
Oh, yeah. He sings in The Worst Witch.
Yeah, so that's 1986. So yeah, that's another. So I kind of acted like, he hadn't had a chance to sing, but no, that dude sang all the time.
Wow, yeah, Tim Curry just singing all over the place. You couldn't get him to stop singing.
I don't know if this is a spoiler, but next week I'm recording an episode about The Worst Witch for a friend of my show, Mike Westfall's podcast. So,
awesome! Can't wait.
Nice. So Fozzie, the next thing we see is Fozzie as Squire Trelawney addressing Mr. Bimbo. He says, "All right, Mr. Bimbo, I didn't know you had such a good singing voice." And at some point, I have seen Muppet fans debate what this moment means exactly. The question being, did Fozzie just hear Tim Curry singing and he thought that was Mr. Bimbo's singing voice, or is he just complimenting Mr. Bimbo because he heard Mr. Bimbo singing and we couldn't hear it and he just thinks that Mr. Bimbo has a good singing voice? Any thoughts?
I'm going to be real with you. I did not put that much thought into this Mr. Bimbo joke because I'll tell you, I'm not convinced the writers put that much thought into this Mr. Bimbo.
That may be true.
So counterpoint. Do you remember in the 90s when they put out Muppet movie poster parodies for everything?
I had so many of those.
The Swine Who Snagged Me, Forest Green, Grumpy Old Statler and Waldorf Men, whatever it was.
Yes.
They should have.
What was that one called?
It was.
I don't remember.
Anyways, they should have made a James Bond parody with Mr. Bimbo on it and called it Goodfinger, because it's so it's so good and funny that they do this same joke 25 times in this movie.
Anthony, that's the first time I've laughed at a Mr. Bimbo joke in 18 years.
So this would have
28 years.
This would have just been Fozzie's finger inside the little gun barrel thing from the James Bond movies. Just the finger. You wouldn't have seen the rest of Fozzie. Correct. So you would have had no idea if you didn't know that's what Mr. Bimbo was.
And then it just says good finger.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. He only loves treasure. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. Shaken, not furry. I don't know.
what does Mr. Bimbo even want? You say he only loves treasure, but like, does he want treasure? Is that his thing? Is he?
No, I think he wants to go see Hoon for a third time.
Don't they say, this is the thing, don't they say that characters in screenplays should have something clear that they want? And none of us know what Mr. Bimbo
I don't know
really
what Mr. Bimbo wants.
So that's, he doesn't function as a character for that reason.
And that's screenwriting 101. Mr. Bimbo also never saved a cat.
That's true.
As far as we know, we don't know what kind of life Mr. Bimbo has led before this.
Mr. Bimbo also never refused the call. So.
Oh yeah. He jumps right in. He's ready to go this way. Fozzy's finger. All right. So I guess
I end this podcast loving Mr. Bimbo.
You just might.
That's the art. That's the art.
All right. Well, for the record, I guess I lean toward it's Fozzie hearing Tim Curry and thinking that was Mr. Bimbo, but I don't really know. So
I just assumed that it was
just Fozzie's thumb again.
He's imagining Mr. Bimbo is singing.
Yeah,
I think so too. Yeah,
because he knows Mr. Bimbo has a voice in his mind. Because
Fozzie can hear it. Yeah,
It doesn't sound like Long John.
Yeah, well, yeah, because then Fozzie puts his finger to his ear and says, "You're welcome." So Mr. Bimbo just said thank you, but we couldn't hear it. Then the crew keeps on singing. This includes, by the way, the weird bird Muppet that our guest from last week, Jared Fairclough, was complaining about. The strange appearance of this bird Muppet that has like a missing wedge.
Oh yeah, that yellow bird.
Beak. Yeah,
gets a solo verse or a co-verse with Calico in Cabin Fever, and is unnamed. Muppet Wiki does not have a name for it.
I think that's why I didn't know who Jared was talking about at first. But yes, now I recognize this weird Muppet bird, and I don't know why they designed him this way.
In Cabin Fever, they sing a verse with Calico, the delirious and demented and a little nuts line. You'll see.
Yeah, all right.
You'll remember I said this. You won't remember I said this, but you'll...
Wedge-beaked pirate bird.
But there's some other, again, Anthony, I know it's not your favorite thing, but to do a couple shout outs, because I'm only on the podcast this week. Bagooney is there. My guy Bagooney, probably ready to emotionally.
By all means, do this. I'm not opposed to this. I just don't think to do it. Yeah.
Bagooney is going to be there, probably emotionally terrorizing some other pirate after, shrinking Moki or whatever.
As he did on Fraggle Rock, right?
The beggar is there from Christmas Carol, who's got that great, like, Dickensian era illustration look to him. And Jacques Roach from Jim Henson Hour making his appearance here. One of the only Muppet television characters to continue on into Muppet material.
And Jacques Roach must have also been in Christmas Carol, right? It just seems like all those sort of...
I don't believe he was.
We should point out that he was also a regular character on The Animal Show.
The Animal Show.
Where his name was Yves Saint La Roche.
Yes.
He was not in Christmas Carol. I was correct. But
Surprising.
It's funny because I was such a big Animal Show fan as a kid that whenever I would watch this on VHS, I would be like, oh my God, it's Yves Saint Laroche.
There he is.
Like, I was like the one and only. Yeah, I was like, wow, that's one of my favorite characters right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's him.
But yeah, he really is, when you think about it, one of the only... Well, no, I guess Chip and Zandra showed up.
Well, it didn't really last long enough, the Jim Henson Hour, for there to be a ton of characters built for it, unfortunately.
Yeah, but, Digit and Vicky and Leon.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
And Lindbergh.
And Lindbergh should have stuck around. I love that puppet.
Lindbergh, I could see Lindbergh being in these two movies.
And Flash. Like, none of these characters.
Most of them, the designs were such a departure from traditional Muppety designs that they would not really fit in a lot of.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of these monsters, and one of my favorite things about this movie are the pirates, which should come as no surprise to any longtime Tough Pigs readers and listeners, that I love all of these like weird background monsters. But a lot of them have designs that feel kind of like departures from the Muppets that we're used to.
Yeah, I guess that's why they make sense as because we've noted that some of them were background characters in Christmas Carol, and now they're pirates, and they're going to go on to be members of the motorcycle gang in Muppets Wizard of Oz, and prisoners at the Gulag in Muppets Most Wanted. So something about they have some sort of unifying look to them. I don't know exactly what it is. Next, we cut quickly between different sort of smaller groups of our characters. Kermit, Gonzo and Rizzo, Jim and Long John, Statler and Waldorf, and Bunsen and Beaker and Fozzie. They're all singing, "Hey ho, we'll go anywhere the wind is blowing, bold and brave and free." But one character is not singing, and that's Sam as Mr. Arrow. He's keeping in character here. He does not have time for this foolishness as everyone else is singing this trivial song.
It is kind of funny. Was this earlier in the clip? It may have been, because I also just rewatched this whole song. I do like how Sam keeps giving Kermit the stink eye whenever Kermit starts singing.
Yeah,
like you should be better than this.
Right. He clearly thinks it's undignified that Kermit is singing along. And now we get to these call and response lines. Everyone together sings "Sailing for Adventure." Rizzo responds with, "It's so nauseating." That's Rizzo. He's not having a great time on the ocean.
Even though he's making money now.
That's true, yeah. It's so profitable.
Here's an interesting thing. If he ate less food, he wouldn't be nauseous.
Yeah. It's true.
That's when I feel nauseous,
Rizzo's
when I eat a lot of food.
Two competing instincts. Yeah, what a conflict. Then everyone sings "Sailing for Adventure" again, and Gonzo sings "So Exhilarating." Because this is Gonzo. He's having a great time going on this dangerous adventure.
Why does Gonzo like things that are exhilarating?
I give up.
Is there an element of his character that I should know?
Oh, yes. Gonzo is a thrill seeker. I don't know. What are you looking for?
No, just how it's always Gonzo likes adventure and Rizzo likes food.
Yes, they're consistent.
Yes.
I like that
adventure. I like food.
Yeah, exactly.
I love selling cruise tickets. I like that we can see the water spraying behind all these groups when the camera cuts to them singing their lines. It's just furthering the illusion that they're actually on the ocean and not on a set on gimbals in a studio. Everyone again sings "Sailing for Adventure," and then the rats who are taking the cruise sing "We're all celebrating."
We're all celebrating.
And they all have all their vacation accoutrement. Then finally, everyone sings "On the Deep Blue Sea." And there's this shot that pulls back that is just packed with Muppets and humans. They're all over the ship. I noticed, I think for the first time, Eugene the Weasel from Muppet Classic Theater, who will later appear on Muppets Tonight. He's there. So many Muppets.
Do we have time to have another 45-minute conversation about whether Eugene the Weasel is funny?
Yeah.
If you want to express an opinion, you can do a 30-second.
I have no opinion on Eugene the Weasel. I just had to bring up old wounds.
So this is cool. This is a fun ending for this song. Any other thoughts? Becca, I know you weren't here last week when we started the song. So
I feel like I already touched on the stuff. Again, I think it feels like a Muppet Show number. Maybe not the world's most memorable Muppet Show number, but it feels like a Muppet Show number.
Sure. Yeah. Then there's this sort of brief but cool looking shot of the ship on the ocean. I did not copy my notes. I'm going to probably talk more about these effect shots in a later episode. But the next thing that happens is Mr. Arrow blows his whistle again, and it's time for roll call. So this is a sort of an extended, silly joke after silly joke sequence. I think it's funny when I hear about how the early script drafts by Kirk Thatcher and Jerry Jewell were much sillier than the final product after they brought James Hart in. I wonder if there was more stuff like this, and I kind of wish there were more stuff like this.
I agree.
Finished product.
Well, and people who like this movie more than I do often talk about it being Monty Python-esque or something.
Yes, definitely. It's very easy to imagine a scene like this in a Monty Python movie.
Right. This scene is the scene this scene is the one moment that's accurate, I think.
And I feel like this scene gets circled around all the time. I mean, I definitely see this posted on Twitter and GIFs of this posted on Twitter all the time. When I told my dad that I was going to be on this podcast, my dad goes, "Oh yeah, like Dead Tom's dead." Like,
yeah.
That was like I didn't even mention that I was doing this scene. I was like, yeah, Muppet Treasure Island. He's like, yeah, with Old Tom and Dead Tom.
Yeah.
And again, it's, I requested to be on the roll call episode, which seems to have turned into the roll call episodes because of how you were forced to cut the clips.
That's the way the 2 minutes, turned out.
But I requested these specifically, and I have a lot of thoughts about these that we'll get to, most of which we'll get to next week. So there's a teaser. There's a teaser for you folks at home. But there's some good stuff in this. There really is. Like, there's a reason my dad remembers the old Tom, real old Tom, dead Tom.
Yeah, well, so we can go down. We can go
down. Yeah. I don't want to skip ahead.
All down here. Yeah, so starting with Long John Silver, he shouts, "Aye, aye, sir," very loudly, very businesslike. Then next is Short Stack Stevens. This is a man of short stature. I think this probably would not be a joke in a movie made
care for
today.
This.
Oh, I think you're right. Can I say something about the actor though? So this is Danny Blackner, who is mostly a suit performer. He was a goblin performer in Labyrinth 10 years earlier. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So,
cool.
And he also was one of the ROUS performers in The Princess Bride, the Rodents of Unusual Size. He was in one of those, among other credits. But I think it's really neat that like they got a guy who was an old Henson collaborator, like, and I'll say this, I think he's likable. Like he's charming.
Absolutely.
He's magnetic,
Yeah. I guess I'm just like, I would love to see him in the movie too if it were made today. I just don't think they would name him Short Stack Stevens. Yeah, that's all. And for the better. Yeah, but that's cool. I'm glad you looked him up. I didn't even think to check what his other credits might be. I just noticed on this rewatch, at the same time that Short Stack Stevens says "I," the Dodo Bird Muppet is also in the shot, and he opens his mouth at the same time, which makes it look like he's saying "I" too. So I don't know if that was just a strange decision by a puppeteer, or if the Dodo thinks that he's Short Stack.
Well, a Dodo is short
and dead.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so, he could also be Dead Tom.
No, they are. Yes,
that's right. There you go.
He could be. Ooh, yeah. Then we got One-Eyed Jack. This is a whatnot
we saw him
with an eye patch.
He's one of the first people to sing in Sailing for Adventure moments ago.
Yes, he was swabbing.
And then he said, "What the heck?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Then we got Black-Eyed Pea. This is a human actor who actually appears to have two black eyes. He doesn't say "I," he goes, "Yeah."
Can I tell you something about this guy?
Yes, please. I'm so glad you looked these people up.
This is actor Peter Geeves. Peter Geeves.
Okay.
He passed away in 2022. But get this. He has exactly 4 credits on IMDb. And they are all pirate related.
There aren't even that many movies about pirates.
No. So one is a single episode of a TV show called Captain Butler. And the other 3 are Muppet Treasure Island, Cutthroat Island, the Rennie Harlan movie, and Terry Jones's Eric the Viking from 1987.
Okay.
So that's a Viking movie, I guess, not a pirate movie. But it's like a seafaring adventure movie. Yeah. So exactly. I couldn't find any other information about him. His IMDb bio is just like that he existed. But I'm sure he did other stuff in his life. But he's in 3 movies and 1 TV episode, and they're all about like sailing for adventure.
Yeah. That's
very
really
strange.
Cool. He had a thing that he did.
Can I tell you something else about Black-Eyed Pea?
Yes.
He frequently wanted to get it started in
There it
here.
is. There it is. Yep. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. That song, that was, I always think if I were a songwriter, I would write a song like that everybody would want to use, like at sporting events, at concerts, at any kind of event that takes place in a big stadium, because you would get so many royalties from a song like that.
Do you know what else about Black Eyed Peas, Becca?
It's America's favorite homestyle restaurant.
No, 1/4 of him is if what I am is what's in me.
Oh, that's true.
Strong for all to see.
He's going to keep on reaching high.
Sesame Street.
Yeah. Yes. Will I Am on Sesame Street.
Indeed.
Next is a wall-eyed pike. This is a Muppet fish. According to a website called Advanced Eye Centers, the correct medical term for what they're calling walleye here, which is an outdated term, is exotropia. I cannot imagine. I think even in a movie today, they would not probably make a Muppet called Exotropia Pike. But this is he's just a Muppet fish, and he has some fish hooks still stuck in his mouth.
I like walleye pike a lot, and again, I have a soft spot in my heart for these like weird, gross Muppet monsters. Again, that's what I always come on the show to talk about now, it feels like. But, going with what we were saying earlier about how the Jim Henson Hour characters often felt like departures. Like, this is also a departure, compare him to like the Gills brothers. He's...
right.
He's not soft and fluffy. He's kind of scaly. Yeah, he's a much more naturalistic fish for a Muppet. Then we have Polly Lobster, who goes and does a little parrot whistle because he's kind of a parrot. And then Mad Monty, he blinks his eyes, those eyes that are sticking through his hat.
And this is when we learn his name because he wasn't identified earlier.
Yes, exactly. This is when we hear his name. Then we got Sweetums. He is standing right behind Sam when he calls his name, so everyone is startled by Sweetums when he loudly says "I."
Well, and it's I always thought it was weird as a kid that it kind of seems like they're playing his name as a joke, right? Like we say Sweetums, and then it's like, oh, this guy is Sweetums, the giant monster.
I hadn't thought about that before you brought it up, but
which is of course like the initial joke if we go all the way back to Frog Prince.
Yeah, 25 years earlier, it was the same joke, right?
But it just.
Yeah. This is a giant ogre.
But it just feels like we all know by now. But I don't know. Maybe we didn't all know by now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't know if most people in the theater knew.
Maybe it's the first movie you ever saw,
And he hadn't been around in a long time. I mean, he started appearing less and less frequently by the end of the Muppet Show. Wasn't in Muppets Take Manhattan at all. Barely in Great Muppet Caper. Not on Muppet Babies. Briefly on Jim Henson Hour, but I don't think named on the Jim Henson Hour.
I think that's right. But also that's irrelevant.
Yeah, no one watched it. No one watched it. But like,
but he's in Muppets of Walt Disney World. I mean, he's in the Muppet Vision 3D.
That's true. He is in Muppet Vision 3D, and that's definite.
That's the one.
That's true. I forgot about that because I was going to say it. He's also not in Christmas Carol.
Right. He's not.
Right. Yeah. It's true.
Yeah, this is his big comeback. This is his first movie in 15 years.
Yeah, and it's, again, unlike a lot of other Richard Hunt characters, Beaker and Statler notwithstanding, one of the first few Richard Hunt characters to start speaking again.
Yeah.
Is this John Henson?
Yeah.
As Sweetums at this
John
point?
Henson,
Yep.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's good to see him and it's good to hear him.
Mm-hmm.
So then we have what we've alluded to, but I think probably one of the most remembered and well-remembered jokes in the movie. We have Old Tom. He's a guy with a long white beard. And real old Tom, he's a mummy. And then Dead Tom, he's a skeleton. And this Muppet, who we know to be Mudwell, has to raise Dead Tom's arm up for him to say aye, aye.
That's so funny. I love that. I think that's so funny that Dead Tom actually is just a corpse.
Yes.
Like,
he's a dead
I think that's so much funnier than if it was just like a skeleton moving on its own.
Yeah, not like a talking skeleton. Like he's being puppeteered by Mud Bunny. Like
right, exactly.
He's just dead. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, that's you're right. That would have seemed equally likely in a Muppet movie to have an animated skeleton, but yeah, to have it just be he's just dead. He's just a
And
skeleton.
of course, the dead Tom puppet and the real old Tom puppet come back in Haunted Mansion as the recurring joke teller characters, like a mummy and a skeleton.
Yeah, they keep singing the musical.
Yeah.
And Mudwell isn't there that time.
Right, so it just is an animated skeleton there. But I was so happy to see those two in that, by the way, like genuinely.
Yeah.
Well, again, like this is a really funny bit. The old Tom, old Tom, dead Tom, and it is like, again, that is a very Python-esque escalation of the joke.
Yeah,
that is something that I feel like, again, reads as Python-esque, is still funny in like nothing has changed to make it less funny. Like it's still really good. I know I commented on this in my Muppet Christmas Carol Fraggle Rock article that I feel like we always talk about, but it is interesting that Mudwell, the character who teaches us about dealing with death in Fraggle Rock, is the one who is puppeteering dead Tom. And
that's true.
That's funny. Thanks, Mudwell. And then these three guys all have glasses and they all have similar hats. So I don't know if this is kind of the design is supposed to be as if it were the same person on the three different stages.
Oh, man, I never even thought about that.
Yeah. But it's just funny.
I assumed they were just
next
all
we have
brothers or all like different generations, like grandpa, father, and son.
Could be. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Next is Clueless Morgan. He does not say I. He says, huh?
Yeah.
I guess this is the first time we hear his name also.
Right, it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I thought Clueless Morgan was hilarious when I was a child.
I think it's such a fun performance. Like, I think it's like, I don't know that I think the joke writing is so top notch for him, but like, this is Bill Beretta, like storming. I mean, this is his first real feature role. He was in classic theater, but playing like Miss
no. This is Bill Beretta's first big character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And kids do like.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was a sucker for this joke and everything. I don't know if I still think the joke is funny, but you're right that certainly Bill Beretta makes a meal out of it, and I can still appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Next on the list is Headless Bill.
Headless Bill?
But nobody answers.
Headless Bill?
So Sam has to call out again. Yeah, Headless Bill? And still nothing. So Kermit and Sam kind of lean out and look out across the whole crew. And that's where this clip ends.
Yeah.
That is so infuriating.
What an ending. It's a cliffhanger. I don't know if we've ever had this quite like
such a great, when I got this clip and they started calling Headless Bill, I was like praying, like watching that like time meter at the bottom. Like, I want this to end before we get to the punchline. I want this to end.
Yeah.
And we did. So folks at home, you're going to have to wait another 7 days to learn why Headless Bill is not responding.
And I mean, is he even there? Will they find
Which
him?
does bring me to an interesting question, which is, why are they doing... I don't know how boats work. I was about to say I've never been a boat, which is true, but I've also never really been like, I mean, I've been on a boat, but I've never been on this kind of boat.
You've never been on a sailing ship that's been chartered for a voyage to an island. And you've never been a crew member,
never been
presumably.
A crew member. No, I've like rode a ferry.
Okay.
But why are they taking roll after they've already made it to the open ocean? It feels like you might want to... And literally, when I requested this scene, I was like, oh, wow. And like listening to your podcast, I was like, oh, wow, I've got to be like next week. And then I remembered today that there's a whole song before they take roll.
Yeah.
In my mind, you should probably do that before you hit the open ocean, because if Headless Bill is missing, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, it's too late.
Right.
You can't turn that ship around. at that point. I think the real life answer is probably that as the movie is approaching the half-hour mark, they want to just get the ship onto the water and then get to the musical number. And if they had put the roll call before that, it would have kind of delayed all of that from happening. But yes, it is logically, it is a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just, it's funny. We've been talking about there's a couple of these sort of escalations: One-Eyed Jack, Black-Eyed Pea, Wall-Eyed Pike, and then Old Tom, Dead Tom, and then Clueless Morgan, Headless Bill. So this is just strategically written.
And I think it shows.
I feel like they put some thought into this. So yeah, that's the end of these minutes. I have a few things from the June 1st, 1994 draft of the screenplay. There are some names, some different names listed and some differences in the characters who are here. In the draft, the second name called is Israel Hands, who is described as having his hands on backwards.
Okay, so that's a character.
I was about to guess that it was. There's no reason why you would name a character Israel.
Yeah.
It's not a joke name. It's not a name people think of as a name.
Right.
Right. So actually, that's my whole strange case for this episode is listing all of the pirates who are actually listed by name in the book.
Oh, okay. So you have more to get to later, or
do you want me to do that within this segment about the screenplay?
Oh wow, is this the first?
Should I wait?
Yeah, no, go for it. Let's open the strange case.
Open the strange case.
I feel like I'm watching Inception.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. You're Pete Postlethwaite.
Sure.
Yes, I don't know. But so in addition to the characters that we know to be main characters, right? Jim Hawkins, Captain Smollett, Long John Silver, etc.
Yeah.
As far as
Beaker.
I can tell, there are Beaker. Yes. As far as I can tell, there are only 6 other named people on the boat in the book. Okay. One of them is Tom Morgan, who is kind of like Silver's right-hand man, and who might be the inspiration for both All the Toms and Clueless Morgan. Would not surprise me if that's the case.
Right.
George Merry, Merry, like Mary from Lord of the Rings, or Merry Christmas. Abraham Gray, which I like that. And then Israel Hands is I think it's Coxswain.
Oh,
looks like Coxswain, but I think it's Coxswain. I think
Coxswain, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. That's your guy, Israel Hands, right there. And then the bosun is Job Anderson.
Okay.
Which I'm very amused. I assume Job because it's a first name, not Job. Right. And I'm very amused by Hugo Weaving being like Mr. Job Anderson.
Job not name. Name.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can workshop that. We can workshop that.
And then the last one is Ryan. Becca, I did not write Treasure Island. I did not name the lad Dick Johnson. All right?
Okay.
I didn't do it. Robert Louis Stevenson did it.
Would a young reader, because there were teenage boys reading this back in the day, would a young reader reading Treasure Island at the time have laughed out loud at that name?
I can't imagine that Johnson was
maybe not
a
the
slang
same
term.
as
Was
now,
a euphemism in those days.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know.
So do you think that the character of Dick Johnson inspired the character of Spotted Dick in this movie?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
He's mentioned many times. Like his first name is mentioned many times in the text. So,
and then you said, was it George Merry?
George Merry. Yep.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised they didn't try to twist that into something like Merry George or Happy George and just have a guy who's way too happy.
Yeah. Right.
Pirates. Right. Yeah.
But also, I feel like they weren't adhering as closely to this book.
No, definitely not.
And why would they? Because no one knows. Guys, I'm gonna take a moment in the middle of the strange case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde to say no one cares about the book Treasure Island. They don't assign it in schools. It's boring to read.
Mhm.
I don't understand why they decided to make a movie out of it.
It's a classic.
The Muppets.
It's one of the all-time classics. I don't know.
Yeah, well, and I think I've said this on the podcast, but I've certainly said it to Ryan. Like, I'm reading through the book along with this, and it's not fun to read. It's really not. It's not even like good to get back.
And you are a person who reads books that are this age or even older than this, and you find entertainment and enjoyment in them. It's not just like, oh, this book is old and the prose sounds old.
Exactly. Yeah. Like we talked about, the book is about 40 years newer than A Christmas Carol.
Right.
And that's a joy to read.
Yeah.
Like, that book I adore. I've read it a bunch of times. I mean, just Dickens is fun to read.
Right.
Dickens, like, it likes to say interesting turns of phrase and like interject with the narrator saying weird things.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
That's a phrase he could say.
He did say that.
That's one. He did it. But like me and Roz read Cricket on the Hearth last Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And Cricket on the Hearth is so full of like weird tangents. And it's just so fun.
Mm.
And Treasure Island doesn't have weird tangents in it. It's very straightforward.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I have gathered from what you've read to us and from the annotated version and things that we've just kind of picked up along the way, it does seem like the book was influential in the way that people think about, like, I guess, pirate stories in general.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah, a lot of our ideas about what pirates are, I think, is informed by this book and the books after it that were influenced by it. But yeah, that doesn't mean it's fun to pick up and read now. So I don't know.
But like, again, I don't feel like this is necessarily regarding like Dick Johnson and George Merry and Israel Hands. I don't think that this is the kind of thing that it's quite like the Marvel Cinematic Universe where like audiences are going crazy when they like mention Blue Marvel in passing or
it's
whatever.
Like the one Treasure Island nerd in the audience when they say George Merry, the one guy goes, huh?
Yeah. They should have had a scene after the closing credits where George Merry and Israel Hands and Job Anderson all show up.
Like, I don't know if they felt like, if we don't get Job Anderson in here, the fans are going to revolt.
Hugo Weaving didn't get to do his cameo because of it, right?
Wait, this is 3 years before.
The Matrix, I know. That's what makes it even better. That was it. It's actually a teaser. The closing credits of this movie have a teaser for The Matrix.
Job Anderson.
Hey, Anthony, you want to talk about The Matrix for 2 minutes at a time? Because maybe...
I absolutely do. I would talk about The Matrix Revolutions for 2 minutes at a time.
I still haven't seen that one. I need to. I bet I would like it, honestly.
Here's the thing about The Matrix Revolutions.
We're getting off topic, but let's hear about Matrix Revolutions.
Well, I truly don't think the Wachowskis have ever made a bad movie. I truly don't. But
I buy it.
To agree.
I think that one comes the closest. Like, I do think it's a big step down from Reloaded, which I think is a very good movie.
So I was just going to say, I think Reloaded is better than most people say it is or think it is.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
I would not stand up as vehemently for Revolutions.
Right. I mean, it certainly has some cool stuff in it, and Becca, you should watch it. Like, I don't think you're gonna.
Well, here's the thing.
Right.
I'm not confident I've ever seen the entirety of 2 and 3 either. So here's my problem.
3 is Revolutions. Resurrection is
the new one is Resurrections.
That's what I was thinking.
Matrix Resurrections. No, that rules. That's great. You should see that. That's the second best Matrix movie, in my opinion.
Well, the point is, this is my promise. This is my promise to audiences at home. I will watch the Matrix movies.
Okay. You're making a solemn vow.
I mean, I've seen the first one and I love the first one, and I have memory of the second one. I know I've seen it, but I don't remember it well enough. And the third and fourth.
Becca, just come over here and watch all 4 Matrix movies real quick.
I know. That's
you have until you come back to talk about Muppets from Space on this podcast.
Yes.
To have seen the Matrix movies and have an opinion about them, and then you can report back
and
to our listeners.
What's interesting, and that Anthony and I talked about on my podcast, Habawa, is Muppets from Space comes out the same year as The Matrix.
Yes, of course.
And that means that it's about as good and about as culturally relevant.
I mean, that is 99 is said to be one of the best years for movies, and Muppets from Space is right there.
And Elmo and Grouchland.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huxley and Mr. Anderson.
Time.
The two, excuse me,
great villain.
not Mr. Anderson. Huxley and
Agent Smith.
Agent Smith. That's what I meant to say. Yes. Huxley and Mr. Anderson together in the year, the two greatest characters.
Characters. That's why they call Neo the one, but they call Neo and Huxley the two.
There's something there about Neo and Elmo being similar names. So.
We'll workshop it. It.
Have two of the same letter.
All right. Was that it for the strange case?
It sure was.
Okay. Well, also in the screenplay draft, we have Bad Bruce, who is described as having a shark face. And I assume this was meant to be the same Muppet who appeared previously in the draft, like standing on top of a hill watching the Admiral Benbow Inn burn down.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Bad
You
Bruce.
mentioned that.
Oh, Bad Bruce. I guess that's Bruce, a reference to the Jaws shark. That's what they called the mechanical shark.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you're right. Yeah.
Almost definitely. And that's why the shark's Bruce in Finding Nemo.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then there's No Lines Thompson, who's a mime. And that is funny, and I wish that character was in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and speaking of Python, like, that's very Sir not appearing in this film.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And then finally there's Inedible Joe, a man with live sharks attacking both his arms. Which is also very funny, and I would have liked to see it. I imagine it would have been a complicated effect to pull off. Just like a man with sharks eating. I mean, I guess they could just like
just had two Muppet sharks.
Like
the Sesame Street
mouths.
shark. Just put the Sesame Street shark on his arm.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
right? Yeah,
yeah. Inedible Joe. So I don't know. It's not too late. Maybe they could bring back Inedible Joe for some future Muppet project. But yeah, that's everything I have. Any other thoughts on these 2 minutes, Becca? Starting with you.
No, I mean, these 2 minutes have a lot of things that I really like. And JD, you're welcome. I am saying something nice about Muppet Treasure Island.
Okay, Anthony, anything else?
Nope, that was all I had.
All right. Well, Becca, you will be joining us again next week to find out the fate of Headless Bill. For now, then, we will wrap things up for this week. Becca, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you, Ryan and Anthony. That's hard to say.
Is it? Well, it's always fun to have you on the show. As always, thanks to Morgan Davy for our show's logo. Listeners, you can find Tough Pigs on the internet at toughpigs.com, and we're all over social media, as well as TeePublic, where we recently introduced some new shirt designs, including the Ocean Breeze soap t-shirt. That's kind of hard to say. Ocean Breeze soap t-shirt, which is a popular new shirt there. So go check that out. You can also find us on the Tough Pigs Discord server. You can email us at movingrightalong@toughpigs.com. I am on Letterboxd at Movies Are Neat, and Anthony is on Letterboxd at Zeppo Marxist. I am on Blue Sky at Me Ryan Rowe, and Anthony is on Blue Sky at Durwood Clapper. Becca, where can our listeners find you?
Where can people find me? The Tough Pigs Discord is a great place to find me.
You're doing a fantastic job as a moderator over there, by the way.
For sure.
Thank you. It's a dirty job, but someone's got to do it.
I mean, so many people, like, we opened that place and people just started flooding in.
But I think that's probably the best place to find.
Okay.
Social media is kind of weird. I guess I'm at Uncle Petunio on Twitter. I don't know. I would tell a joke, but it's been a long episode. Or at Tall Girl Petunia on most other social media platforms.
Very good. And listeners, please tell everyone you know to listen to this show, including your old friends and your real old friends and your dead friends. And join us again next week for another episode of Moving Right Along. So long.
Bound, 4 stars. Cloud Atlas, 4 stars. Our Speed Racer, 4 stars.
You know what's interesting, Anthony, is I haven't seen Bound, and that is
gotta see Bound, Becca!
Right? Isn't that shocking that
You're gonna love it! You're gonna love it!
Jupiter Ascending, how many stars?
3 stars.
It's pretty good.
Not
yeah.
Jupiter
Fair.
Ascending is worse.
I like it when bees can sense royalty, but I don't think you need to go out of your way.
I might go 3.5.
Ryan, please leave this in or put it after the.
I think it'll go after. Yeah.
I know, right? Isn't it weird that I haven't seen Bound?
The end.